If you don't already, make sure to purchase cubes from DailyPuzzles. If you use code TC4Y, you get 5% off your whole order. Now let's get to the video. Is this a 3x3? Well, technically yes, but to be specific, it's a 3x3x3. All of these cubes are technically 3x3s, but there's a little bit more to them than meets the eye. So, what all types of cubes do we have here? Well, we have the 3x3x1, 3x3x2, 3x3x3, 3x3x4, and finally 3x3x5. Each of these cubes is unique in its own way. Each one is also solved in a different manner from the rest. Let's solve them all and see how they differ. The 3x3x1 is a very interesting puzzle. It's fairly simple, and although you wouldn't expect it, it can actually shapeshift. Let's get this fully mixed up and see how fast I can solve it. The first step to solving this cube is to put it back in the cuboid shape. After this, it's solved pretty intuitively unless you have an edge that needs to be twisted like that. Finishing with a time of 10.447, let's see how the 3x3x1 compares to the other cubes. Next up, we have the 3x3x2. This cube is not nearly as intuitive as the 3x3x1, and no, it cannot shapeshift. Let's mix it up and give it a go. Similar to using the beginner's method on a 3x3, I begin by creating a cross on a certain color, in this case yellow, and then inserting the remaining corners from there. Once the last corner is inserted, the only thing I have to worry about is the permutation of the last layer. This can be done by using an algorithm to permute the corners and then another algorithm to permute the edges. Clearly a bit slower than the 3x3x1, the time comes in around 30 seconds. Next up we have the 3x3, the cube that we all know and love. For those of you who don't know, I use the CFOP method, which consists of solving the cross, F2L, OLL, and then PLL. This time comes in 11.267 seconds, just a bit slower than the 3x3x1. Now we're moving on to some bigger cubes. Say hello to the 3x3x4. This cube is solved very similarly to the 3x3x2, but also cannot shapeshift. Let's mix it up and give it a go. As I mentioned before, the 3x3x4 is solved very similar to the 3x3x2. Think of it as two 3x3x2 stacked on top of each other. The middle two layers are the first 3x3x2, and the top and bottom layer are also a 3x3x2. I'm finishing up with the middle layers now. Now I have to solve the top and bottom layer. In order to make sure that I don't mess up the middle two layers, I try to use only U, D, and R2 moves to solve the bottom layer. Now that that's finished, I use the same algorithms that I did on the 3x3x2 to solve for the corners and the edges. In doing so, however, I have to make sure that I don't mess up the middle layers. The top layer is finishing up, but there is a parity algorithm I have to do really quickly before finishing. The final time comes out to 1 minute and 3 seconds. Although it takes a little bit longer to solve, it's truly fun to do, and I'd highly recommend getting one of these. Finally, we have the 3x3x5. Well, I'm missing the yellow center cap, but it still works regardless. The unique aspect of the 3x3x5 is that it can actually turn like a 3x3, but in order to make sure that I'm getting the best scramble, I have to keep it in its regular cuboid shape before turning like a 3x3. Since that seems scrambled enough, I can now start turning it like a 3x3 to fully scramble the cube. I would say that the 3x3x5 actually offers a little bit of each individual cube that has been solved already, other than maybe the 3x3x1. To start, you have to solve the cube like a 3x3 to make sure that you can turn the top and bottom layers. It is helpful to use an F2L-like technique to make sure that you get the middle layers properly, that way you don't have to worry about them in the end. Now that the OLL section is complete with this cube, it now turns into an almost 3x3x4 like cube. One unique advantage that the 3x3x5 has over the 3x3x4 is that you can actually use a PLL algorithm for the last part of the first 3 layers. Unfortunately with this solve, I got parity again and have to solve it using the same algorithms I did for the 3x3x4. Now that those layers are complete, I use the same tactic to solve the top and bottom layers just like the 3x3x4. If you guys have made it this far, thank you so much for watching. I hope that you enjoyed, and if you're interested, I'd recommend getting these puzzles and trying them out yourself. Although they're not cubes that would be used in a competition, they're certainly a lot of fun to solve and are definitely worth getting in my opinion. That's the end of this video. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe if you enjoyed it, and if you'd like more videos like this in the future. See you guys and have a nice day.